I believe we left off in Romans 11, and Paul does continue his instruction on the matter, so we need to look at that. But first, let's go through Isaiah 49 for some more insights. This is typical of Messianic prophecy, where we begin to read his words as if he is speaking of himself, but we're soon convinced that he must be speaking of the Messiah. So we're in Isaiah chapter 49, verse 1. First off, take note of that term coastlands and just keep it in your back pocket for now. Verse 2, we see mouth like a sharp sword, reminiscent of Revelation 1 and also in one of the 7 epistles, giving us an idea of who we're talking about. But what's this in verse 3 when it says, "You are my servant Israel"? Are we talking about Israel or the Christ? Well, let's lay this out then. In verse 1, he's speaking to the nations, right? Then God is enigmatically referring to him as his servant Israel. Then in verse 4, he foreshadows the sad and empty feeling Jesus experiences being brutally slaughtered for the people who don't even accept him. But in verse 5, he graciously makes the math nice and easy and mentions all three together: the Father, Jesus the servant, and Jacob, who is Israel. Of course, in Jesus' own words, he said he is sent to the lost sheep of Israel. In verse 6, again, the Father saying, "My servant, raise up and restore Jacob." Also, be a light to the Gentiles. There's 2 different missions here, but for what result? That you should be my salvation. To whom? The ends of the earth? What is that? How many people does that encompass? I don't know why the world of Christianity can't wrap their head around the fact that he's trying to redeem the whole earth. Also look at verse 8, a covenant to the people to restore the earth. Has the earth ever been restored? No. Next time we're going to look at this topic in Hebrews and destroy amillennial theology and look into why it is ruining the Christian faith. But let's pop back over to Romans and see what Paul wants us to understand about what he was writing about last time. The final verse of chapter 11 sums things up. For of him and through him and to him are all things, to whom be the glory forever. Therefore, in chapter 12, present yourselves for service to God. Do not conform to the world. Be transformed to what? To God's will. What is his will? Verse 10, look at that. Be kindly affectionate, honoring others, fervent in spirit, rejoicing in hope. Let's bring joy and hope back to the church where it belongs. And let's get the power of the word out of where they've locked it into a closet. And we can use it in our lives.